Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and Bionicle Fanon Contest 8, centered around Toa Orde, continues to barrel onwards. After narrowing down from a massive group of preliminaries, the next round of voting for semifinals is open right now, and let's dive into how you can vote, and vote for the ones you think are the best in the link in the description below. Let's get into it. Okay, we are back at it again with the semifinals voting for Toa Orde contest number 8. Clicking the link in the description below brings you to this Google Doc where you can see we have completed all of the preliminary brackets, so let's just go ahead and strike through those. And now, the links to semifinals are now live. You can go ahead and vote right now. So clicking on the bracket 1 and bracket 2 links will bring you to a series of slide decks showcasing the semifinals. Who made it past the brutal round of preliminaries where there were almost 100 entries, narrowed down to just 20. Starting off with semifinals bracket number 1, we have Donnie's Toa Orde here using a lot of really interesting metallic and drum lacquered gold pieces from the buildable C-3PO Technic figure. We have Kaiku's Toa Orde utilizing one of the only mocks that actually has the insectoid wings as robes, which I think is a really cool touch. Then we have Pink J97's having a completely different posture for it, and oh man, if this one wins, that will be pretty tricky to recreate with that dark blue Ruru, but you can see this is using just all pretty much official pieces. Then we go to Kodiak's Toa Orde, which kind of takes design inspiration from the canon version of Toa Helrix, but really transforms it into something else. Next is Nicholas Ninjago TCG's Toa Orde here, which has a really interesting usage of the building techniques for the ribcage around the torso there. Really love the detail of the parts used for that. Then we have Dirtus's Toa Orde, where you can see it's using a pearl gold coloration, one of the few that actually uses a slightly different color scheme. Then we have Karis's Toa Orde here, using the Mata blue color scheme instead of dark blue alongside that pearl gold. Then we have Fritz's, which is one of the only entries to go with that medium blue integrated into the color scheme, but again also inspired by that canon version of Toa Helrix. Next up is Student Scissors, yet another medium blue entry here, where you can see all sorts of really nice details factored in. And finally, Maxilla's, which again, we are on a bit of a medium blue kick on these last 3 entries here, although this one has some bit of red integrated into the staff itself. In order to place your votes for Semis Bracket 1, click on the Vote Here button, which will take you to a Google form where you can list down your favorite entry, your second favorite entry, and your third favorite entry, and this is just going to follow the same exact voting rules as usual. But now, let's take a look at bracket number 2. And once again, please do vote in both brackets. It is really important to make sure that voting is fair, that you go ahead and vote in both of the brackets available. So let's take a look. First off, we have Toa Orde by Pow Jump. This one is again utilizing those drum lacquered gold elements, but the bluish color is actually violet here, which is a pretty rare color to use. It's only been used in a couple of different sets, namely the Jango Fett Technic buildable figure back in 02, so it's really interesting how they were able to use parts to that effect. Then we have Jox Builds Toa Orde, a favorite in a lot of the contests. Jox has been a really talented builder who's really had a strong showing in many different contests, and this is no different, utilizing a dark blue, red, and drum lacquered gold color scheme. Then we have Stubbs Toa Orde, which interestingly enough integrates medium blue in all sorts of different types of building techniques, a very interesting style of building this one up, and I do like the usage of the back fin spikes here, coming from the CCBS Rogue One sets. Next up, we have Bucky's Toa Orde. This is a classic entry right here, which of course integrates a lot of pearl gold, good mechanical detail with the minifigure hands and all sorts of different bits and pieces of pistons here. Lots of really sharp building techniques being used here on this one. And of course, we have Mini Rigby's also integrating kind of a darker or metallic-ish style of blue actually, and then the actual metallic and pearl gold usage there. Stuvino also uses the medium blue color, and there you can see him levitating a Thornax with his mind. Kutarak is one of the most detailed models that we see in this contest. All sorts of greebling and mechanical detail and little bits of gold iconography scattered throughout the model itself. And then finally we have Vinej's Toa Orde here, which also uses a lot of intricate details, and one of my favorite details is the usage of this ring element in the center. Next up, we have an art entry by AR9914, who consistently produces some of the best art entries ever. And I just love the style of design here. You can see all sorts of these rings integrated into both the hammer and the knee joints. Interesting usage of the mask there. That's kind of not a common mask to use for Orde, but one that I think works very well. And you can clearly see some official LEGO pieces being drawn onto here, such as the shoulder armor Exoforce / the Juniors 4+ motorcycle fairing for these. And of course you have a rendition of the Zyglak there, one of those classic combiner models. And then finally you have Toa Orde by Zarian, which is more of a traditional style of color scheme, dark blue, black, and pearl gold, using a really interesting style of mask and a brown and silver mace. Once more, you can click the vote here to vote for your favorites, second favorite, and third favorite. And once again, may the best entries win. Of course, now I think it's time to get a refresher on those prizes. And one thing I'm doing a little bit differently for prizes this time is that we've actually pre-prepared prizes for every single one of the Yesterday Questers, and they are pretty much ready to go. Which means that I'm incredibly excited to announce just the first of many prizes that will be populating through the Toa Yesterday Questers contest, including some custom Bionicle masks and signed items by Christian Faber, co-creator of Bionicle. But first, let's take a look at first place. So if you win first place, you will receive a custom ornate melded gold and blue Kanohi Sanok. This has been crafted by Nate's Mask Shop, which you can check out linked in the document, and 3 modeled by Galva on Thingiverse. And this is the grand prize of the contest. It is absolutely a beautiful piece, and I can't wait to see how folks use it in their builds. The second prize that you get for winning first is your first pick of 3 custom dark blue resin casted Kanohi Sanoks, which have been made by Buryu's Forge, which you can also check out linked in the document, and these of course have been designed by both King K and Galva, and you have your pick as to which one you want. And then, the final prize, and some would argue the most exciting, is that you can receive a signed comic signed by co-creator of Bionicle Christian Faber, who has kindly donated some of these comics and his signature to the contest itself, and you get to choose which one you want from the comics shown on screen right now. Of course, if you win second place, you get not only a second pick of the Kanohi Sanoks, as well as a second pick of a signed Bionicle comic, but you also get a grab bag of original Bionicle G1 elements from Christian Faber's private collection. Some of these might have been used in promotional materials, test materials, as well as some rare Bionicle Kanohi masks, which grab bags will include, so I hope you enjoy. And finally, the third place winner will receive their third pick of the mask, as well as a third pick of a signed Bionicle comic by Christian Faber. So all 3 top winners will be receiving a signed comic. Many thanks to Christian Faber for making this possible. Okay, and with that, we have summed up how you can vote in the semifinals voting for Toa Orde Bionicle Fanon Contest number 8. I can't wait to see you at the polls, and may the greatest Orde win. That's all, and bye for now.